Okay, this teaching is for women, and we're in Romans chapter 1, and we're going to start in verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, also to the Greek. For therein is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. That faith to faith is in Habakkuk 2:4, and you can go and read that. I highly recommend it. But therein is the righteousness. So it is the power of God. So therein, that's where our righteousness comes from, that believeth. All right, so we're going to flip over to Deuteronomy 4. Actually, I'm probably all over the place a little bit here. But in chapter, let me just jump here. Just bear with me. So, much every way, this is chapter 3, verse 2, much every way, chiefly because that unto God were committed the oracle of God. And what are the oracles of God? So the oracles of God, because I want you to understand this whole message is about the 10 Commandments. And that is told here in chapter 4, the oracles of God, in right here. So righteous, verse 8, chapter 4, and what nation is there no great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law? So we're learning about how to do righteousness, right? And so the Lord spake unto you out of the midst of the fire. You heard the voice of the word. You saw no symptom of it. You heard a voice. That's the oracles of God. And he declared unto you this covenant, which he commanded you to perform 10 commandments. He wrote them on 2 tablets of stone. So then if you flip over to chapter 6, verse 25, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe and do all these commandments before the Lord our God, he has commanded us. Now, that's how you know what righteousness is. And you can go and search that out. Now I lost my Romans. Okay. So now we know that, right? For therein is the righteousness. That is what we are to be, righteous, if we're going to be saved. It tells you. Now, if we jump over to chapter 3, we talked about the oracles of God. So that's where we know we're talking about righteousness still. And then if you come up here, for by the law is the knowledge of sin. So that you don't know you're sinful if you don't have a law. Now the righteousness of God without the law, that sacrificial law, is manifested. But now the righteousness of God without the sacrificial law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets. So you can go and read that in the Old Testament. It tells you. Then down here it says, where is boasting then? Is it excluded by what law? Nay, but the law of faith. So we have to have faith. Therefore, we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the sacrificial law. And I know I'm going to run out of time, but down here it tells you, in being fully persuaded, the belief is that he can transform us into a new creation.